This is Joanne Boyd. She attacked a man in a wheelchair with a brick, causing fractures in his face. But she's not going to jail. Why not? Because she lives in England. And in England, they'll do almost anything they can to not send women to prison, even for violent crimes. There is actual institutionalized sexism and two-tier justice in the British criminal justice system, where women are treated more leniently than men for the same crime. Again, even violent crime. And most of them are minor, but keep in mind, 143 prior convictions. And this story is 100% about gender, because as you read this story, just flip the genders in your mind and imagine the man not getting any jail time at all. Let's take a look. A woman launched a brick at a man's head after he refused to give her money. Joanne Boyd, 46, attacked the man who uses a wheelchair. To me, that's the worst part of the story. Imagine a man attacking a woman in a wheelchair. Okay, Joanne Boyd, 46, attacked a man who used a wheelchair on May 7th this year. As she approached him outside a shop in Openshaw, he told her to stay away from him due to previous dealings with her. Manchester Crown Court heard previous dealings. Boyd then began shouting at him and at one stage threw a cabbage at him, and the man then moved away from the area, but was quickly followed by Boyd, who picked up a brick from a nearby skip. Of course she can follow him. He's disabled. He's in a wheelchair. And previous dealings, she's harassed him before. She has harassed him before. And he can't escape from her because he's in a wheelchair. Keep that in mind. Okay, so moving on. Remember now she has a brick. She struck him in the head with it, said prosecutor Andrew McIntosh. The victim was able to flag down a passing police car who arranged for him to be taken to hospital. He suffered a swelling to his face, which was later found to be a minor fracture to his cheek. In CCTV footage, Boyd is seen to run up behind the man as he moves away. She appears to be holding a brick, which she then holds above her head with two hands and hits him with it before he doubles over in pain. And listen to this. Boyd was arrested days later and initially claimed the victim and used his wheelchair to drive into her legs, of course. She has since pleaded guilty to assault occasioning actual bodily harm and a bail act offense after she failed to appear at a court hearing. So she just didn't go to court and nothing happened. In a statement, the victim said he suffers with blurry vision as a result of his injuries and was worried about going out on his own. Well, of course he's worried. I mean, she got no jail time. So why wouldn't she do it again? And this is not the first time that she's had an interaction with him. He's had prior incidences with her. And going back to what I said in the beginning, imagine a man was arrested for hitting a woman in a wheelchair with a brick hard enough to fracture her face and give her lingering injuries afterwards and not getting jail for it. Boyd, who has 83 convictions for 143 offenses on her record, which were mostly said to be for shoplifting and antisocial behavior, she was said to have been in custody for the equivalent of a 10-month sentence, which for 143 sentences of shoplifting and antisocial behavior, a man would get much more than 10 months total. And this is kind of funny. Which says sign up for the Men Court newsletter here. It's not some men's rights thing. That's just Manchester Evening News. But it's kind of an ironic, funny coincidence. Her barrister, Mark Friend, argued that she had suffered with particular difficulties for many years, but her time in prison, those 10 months, had helped her remain abstinent from drugs and alcohol. Yeah, because they don't serve drugs and alcohol in prison. Sentencing, the Recorder of Manchester, Judge Nicholas Dean KC, said, "There is no excuse or mitigation attached to the reasons for what you did. So then why did Boyd of Victoria Street, Openshaw, was handed a 15-month suspended prison term and must complete an alcohol treatment program and 15 days of rehabilitation activity requirements." What suspended means is you're sentenced to 15 months in jail, but you don't actually have to do it until you do something else bad. That's why it's suspended. So she is not going to jail for this until she does the next thing. And yes, I have seen stories where women have done the next thing and still did not go to jail.